Namaste everyone on Jnana Mitra. This is Himangi Belsare from Pune, Maharashtra today on the third day of Navratri. Today is the third form of goddess Parvati, which is the Chandraghanta Devi, and as we know that she is the goddess Parvati is the very Shakti or the support form of Lord Shiva, and that's why they complement each other, they complete each other, and that's why they are known as the Ardhanarishwara, or the half forms of each other, which complete each other, which complement both of them. Chandraghanta Devi is named in as she carries the name such that because she has a half bell like the bell like the half moon on her head, and so her name. The most important thing here that I would like to mention is Parvati is always mentioned as the goddess of the third eye, or her third eye is always open, just like the Shiva. But uh, it is not only that which gives her the power, or which gives her the Shakti, or what she is, what she represents, what she is. So here, taking this Navratri festival as a what I'll say, um, as a means to express the divine or awaken the divine within, divine feminine, or the divine goddess within. So let us first think about ourselves in their places. I would like to very much say that how do we see our own self? Each and every girl or a lady, may she be young, may she be old, the age is irrespective. Let us just see how we think of ourselves. When I was a very young girl, I always thought about all the beautiful forms of the gods and the goddesses. And every time when I saw them, what I felt very deeply was that so beautiful, so powerful, yet so humble and so loving they look. And every time I was attracted to them again and again, again and again. It was a very, very different kind of attraction which I had for the goddess Parvati, as I had seen her many times in my dreams, or just like we say, I had. Just a minute. Yeah, Vani. I am there actually on a Jnana Mitra itself. Are live? Just wait for some time. Let me see. There may be some problem. Okay, am I audible to everybody? Hello? Hello. Hello. Am I audible? I guess somebody. Hello. Yeah. So, uh, okay, we will get back to what I was talking. Um, I guess there is some connection issue, so I'll just start with my what I was explaining earlier. I was just saying that I was so connected with all these beautiful forms of the gods and goddesses when I was a very young girl, and I just used to watch them, and I just used to try to relate about how they are, what they are, what is what are their forms, and how they are, why were there are so many types of, why there are so many types of gods and goddesses. And in that I always used to get more connected with the goddess Parvati, because all other gods and goddesses also, they were shown very beautifully with ornaments and all their auras and all their beautiful um, saris and everything. And but Parvati, she was also shown very with beautiful ornaments and all other her accessories, and her beautiful form and her aura. But the man she married was the Lord Shiva, and she chose him as her best half. I'll say not the better half. It will be always a best half. And I was also attracted to Shiva, that he is always just sitting in meditation with all the bhasmas around his all the body, the Ganga flowing, the moon on his head, the uh, the snakes around him, and he will be always in meditation. And always I used to wonder, what is he doing closing his eyes, and what is he looking inside him, and what is he sitting there, and what he is he uh, getting to know. I always used to wonder it as a child. And again, Parvati being his the best half, being the best half, I always used to wonder how she copes up with this all these things, and how she stays in the Himalayas on the Kailasha, which is their abode. And these things led me to just thinking all the going on a deeper level of the feminine form, or the woman in the goddess itself. So and when we read all the stories, and when about Ganesha, about Kartikeya, about all other Shiva stories, about all Shiva, Shankar, or is Parvati itself, it is always there that she is the most um, she is the goddess who has performed the most tapasya, we will say. She Her sadhana is very very deep, and due to that she has become more and more rooted in her own self, and her power, or the shakti which we say, or the energy which she spreads, that is the most powerful of all. And all the other gods and goddesses, they come and they ask for help for her to destroy all the demons which are not good for the all this universe. And to do that, she very humbly accepts it, and takes different forms, and destroys and fulfills whatever has to be fulfilled. So when we think this on a deeper level, uh, it is a it is just resembling to what we are, what the common we women are. So I would like to talk about that more than the goddess and the gods, because today the woman in the human form, or the goddess in the human form, has, I guess, forgotten her divinity. Why I am saying this is because I have seen so many young girls, so many beautiful young girls all around me, and they don't know what they are here for. They are just too busy in either getting their degrees or doing some other things, like dressing up with makeups and everything that is there, which we see in the Bollywood or the Hollywood or whatever. But do they really know what they have, how powerful they are, what power they have in them, their own self? All these young ladies, all these beautiful ladies. And even I would like to talk, I'm talking right rather about all the young uh, ladies who are homemakers or who are working in some or the other company or anything. They are so very obsessed with all the competition that is going on around, that they have forgotten their own power. They have forgotten what their role in the society is. They are so very consumed with all the kinds of gossips and all kinds of temptations, that they really have, that I do really wonder if they really know what is going on around within their life. And my dear friends and all the beautiful ladies there, it is very, very necessary, it is very, very important that you realize it and you come to your own self. I will be sharing just a few things here, just 2-3 things uh, for the woman, and how she can come to her own divinity, and how she can bloom in her own beautiful light. The first and foremost thing is that she has to realize that she is not just a body, but she is a Atma, the pure soul, which has come from the divine Paramatma. She has chosen this life as a woman's life, as a woman taking the body of a woman for this lifetime. As she has chosen this body for this lifetime, she has to honor that body first. She has to respect and love that body. If she doesn't respect and love that body, who is going to do it for her? It is very difficult if she herself is not going to respect her own form, which she has taken for this particular birth. So, whatever you are, however you are, if you have a black complexion, if you are fair complexion, please, please do not demean yourself. Do not think yourself as lowly. I have so many friends which have very black complexion, black in the sense a very not fair, but they have such beautiful features. They are so beautiful looking, more beautiful than me. Everybody is beautiful in their own way. They have to accept, we women have to accept it. It is everything about our own self. It is not about the people around us. No, it is not about what they show you on the advertisements, on the TV or the media. No, it is not about that. It is completely wrong. It is only about you, how you present yourself, and for your own self, not for other people. How you feel, what you want to learn, what you want to gain knowledge of. It is everything about that. It is not because somebody has said that women are not compatible enough. that you go and you say ki yes, I will do this and I will do that, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that, if I do not study this or if I do not study that, nobody is going to look at me or nobody is going to praise me. No, it is not needed to anybody for you to praise you, because you are a unique form of your own self. There is practically no one just like you. So first you have to realize this, and accordingly what you need, what you feel in your life, you have to do that. It is not necessary that you have to do whatever is told you to do by the society or by the family. No, it is not at all needed. When I was in such a desperate situation that I needed a relief from all my diseases which I was carrying in the body, I had done so many things that are there in the society. I had done yoga, I took homeopathic medicines, I took allopathy medicines, I went to the yoga classes, I did all pujas, mantras, everything I have done. But nobody told me that you have to do meditation. And when I got to meditation, when I did start meditation, they said it is completely wrong. Are you going to take sannyasa? You are a married woman, you have two kids to look after. But my husband was very firm on that. He is telling me ki if meditation is going to help you, let us do. You have to do it. Let us go on that path and let us see what at least happens. And that should be there. There should be a great support for you from each and every person in your house. Without any conditions. And when I did meditation and when I healed completely, I healed myself within 1 year. It was just a miracle. So this is how the goddess within starts blooming, through meditation itself. All the stories, all the legends of all the gods and goddesses, they lead us to the ultimate aim, to overcome everything that is there in your mind and go to the path of salvation or the samadhi sthiti. And it is such a beautiful path that it doesn't need renunciation or anything. It needs you to be completely in samsara if you are a sansari, if you have taken the vow of marriages. It is very important to honor those things. First, you have to be completely a mom, which makes you the janani. It gives you the then you have, when you cook, it is annapurna. When you are with what we say, with other society, or when you are teaching your children, it becomes a Saraswati. When you are telling them what to do, and when you are putting end to some difficult things which within you or within around you, then you become a Kali or Durga. So in every woman, all the goddesses are present. They all are already there in that, in each and every woman. The next thing that I would like to talk about is the clothes that we wear, which is very important nowadays. As I have done counseling for so many girls, eventually I came to know that due to the Western lifestyle that we have adopted, all the girls, right from the age of 1 or 2, their moms are giving them tight fitting clothes. They feel that even the moms are very wrong about it. All the girls, they are wearing the tight fitting clothes, they are wearing the t-shirts and shirts and the pants and whatnot. So why can't we just be beautiful with the free flowing gowns and frocks and saris and ghagras? The girl, she looks so beautiful. in all her free flowing garments. All the Maharanis, all the Devis, all the goddesses, we see they are always in the um, mm, garments. Nawari sari we say, Nawari, 9-yard sari we say. It is so loose and it is so comfortable for the body, but I don't expect everybody to wear that today, but at least the body, why I'll tell you, the body of the woman, it needs complete free flowing energy. When you wear this tight fitting clothes, the free flowing energy is completely blocked, and all the blockages of the energy start developing in your body and your mind also. Now you can say that we will wear loose jeans and all the things, but the body of the woman is made in such a way, it is made to give birth. Nobody else can, the male cannot give birth. The body of the woman is made so that it can give birth, it can emit its own energies to this beautiful world and this universe. And she has to be, the body is so very soft, it is so very but being soft and beautiful, it is so very powerful. It is so powerful that it has to have the subtlest of soft clothes as well. You just cannot wear anything. The many ladies or young girls that I have counseled, they are wearing jeans and all these things, and they are having so many lot of problems in their bodies. So my dear young girls, on this day of Navratri, where we wear ghagras and all the lehengas and all, these are our main clothes. So please, it is a request to all of you, due to all this change of the garments, we just can heal our own self just by changing the style of our garments. They should be very, very comfortable to your body, because if the body is comfortable, then the mind as well becomes comfortable. Actually, it is mind waves is equal to body waves, but sometimes with relation to the garments or whatever we wear or how we carry our own self, it is rather, according to me, because I find it sometimes, many a times I find it, what I am going to wear today, oh yes, I am going to wear this, and when I put it on, sometimes I feel very uneasy. No, I cannot wear this sari. No, it is not good for me today. So this is what you get from within, and if you are getting this from within, you have to honor the divinity within you, because it is guiding you on each and every step. Unless and until you honor, unless and until you accept what it is coming to you through the intuitions, you cannot be like all these goddesses. You have to know what is going inside your mind. You have to respect it, and you have to let others also know what is exactly happening with you, and what is there in your life, what it should be there in your life, and how you are going to go about it. It is no more about what degrees we have. No, like Shankaracharya says, the great Adi Shankaracharya ji says, when you are at the time when the death is standing in front of you, the grammatical rules or the grammatical combinations are not going to help you. So what is going to help us? So the soul knowledge of who we are, only that is going to help you. So my dear friends, on this day, on these 9 days, when we are worshipping the Navratri. We are worshipping the 9 goddesses, 9 Durgas. We also have not only on these 9 days, on all the days, 365 days of our life, we have to think about what we are doing. Are we serving non-vegetarian food? Are we killing animals? And it is in the hands of a woman to do this. Karuna is the most important thing. Ahimsa paramo dharmaha. A goddess always protects her own children. A master very beautifully that day, she told, I had joined a session, and she told very beautifully, hum do hamare do. It is not true. It is not only hum do hamare do. It is always hum do or hamare, whatever, all the surrounding, all the society, all the pashu, pakshi, or everybody, all the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, mineral kingdom, all the 4 kingdoms, you represent all the 4 kingdoms. All these gods and goddesses, they represent all the 4 kingdoms. And you just cannot neglect the animal kingdom anymore. No, you cannot. You have to respect the animal kingdom as well. A woman has to teach compassion and non-killing to her kids, to her children. She has to tell them, and she doesn't have to serve the food. She doesn't have to cook. If she doesn't cook, then nobody is going to eat that, and nobody is going to know that they have to eat all these plants and animals. Yes, plants also. You should have a great compassion for all these plants, animals, everybody. Some say that even plants have consciousness, and then animals also have consciousness, and they go on talking about all these things. And then what happens if we kill animals? But there is a difference, my dear friends. There is a great difference. If you go into Ramayana, which is broadcasted when I was a small girl, there the Sita, she goes and talks with the plants, and she asks them for some fruit and some flowers for her food and some puja. And the plants, they very lovingly offer it to her. She takes their permission. Please give me some fruits. I need some fruits for my puja, or I am hungry. Would you be giving that? And yes, the plants do talk with us, and so do the animals. So you just cannot go and kill an animal and say and eat it. No. The plants are happy to offer what they produce, and the animals are not. And every mother should always think, if her kids would be killed, and then what would happen, and how can she kill the other mom's kids? It being a hen, it being a sheep, a pig, whatever mom she is. No, it is not acceptable at all. No goddess or any god will accept that. No. So my dear friends, on this Navratri day, we have to think what we are doing, what we, the woman who can change, who can create, who can give birth to new society, who can give birth to the new world around us. We have to think about what we are doing. We have to come to the terms that we don't have to show anything to anybody. We don't have to prove anything, that we are this and we are that, and please respect us, and we are more powerful or more capable or more suitable than you men. No, it is not necessary, because the woman is far more powerful than the men. She is a very multitasking lady, and only she can do it. Not all men can do that. No. So it is not needed to prove. No goddess has ever proven herself. Not needed. She walks in her own light. All the goddesses, all the divine masters, they walk in their own lights. All the santas like Mirabai, and so many of the other saints, they always walked in their own light. They have no need to prove anything to anybody in the world. And my dear friends, on this day of Navratri, all the women, all the men, they should know that there is nothing to prove to anybody else. The most obligation that you ever have is to be true to your own self. And if you cannot be true to your own self, then nothing can help you. So this is about clothes, this is about food, this is about the education. We are just running after one degree after another degree, and we don't know how to cook our own meals. Many girls, many girls in my family also, they don't know how to cook their own food. Just as men should know how to cook simple food for their own self, if they don't have a woman in their life, nor a mother, nor a grandma, or anybody, they should know how to cook and eat and feed themselves. In the same way, all the women should know how to cook. Now, due to this situation, pandemic situation, we have seen that all the outside food outlets have been closed for nearly 7 to 8 months now. And there was a great chaos in the houses because the women didn't cook. They just ordered or they just brought something from outside and served everybody. When a woman cooks with her love and affection for the society, all the love and for the society and for her kids or the family, all the love and affection through her cooking, it enters into the food. And when the kids or anybody, when they eat this food, the same love and affection for the outside world is developed through that food itself. So it is very necessary that we cook our own food, and very lovingly, very affectionately we feed our own children and our family members. And now, specifically, my dear friends, it is very, very necessary in nowadays, now after this pandemic situation that is going on now and henceforth, that you learn and that you cook your own food, because we don't know what is going to come again, and we don't know what the outside energies are. Everything is about the energy that you have inside your body, that you have taken in through your mouth, the food intake that you are doing. All the masters say that a meditator should always cook the food, because he will have the best energies in the house. And if the mother, if the goddess, the Lakshmi of the house is a meditator, then nothing like it, my dear friends. So all the women, they have to stop eating meat, they have to stop serving meat, not only for the 9 days, not only for the Shravan, or not only for the 4 months that we call as Chaturmas, or people renounce meat for 4 months. No, you have to completely stop eating for all the rest of your lives. Then only you can find the divinity within you, and you have to start meditating as well. So my dear friends, please know it is very, very necessary for this coming days that you know where you are going, you know what is happening around with you. It is very important to know where you are standing in your own self, what you are doing, what you are projecting, what frequencies you are emitting, what energies you are absorbing. And a woman can know it in a better way than anybody else. So, my dear friends, please remember that Navratri, we are celebrating it for the 9 days, but you have to celebrate it throughout your life, 365 days every year, not only these 9 days. You have to eat, you have to choose what you have to eat, you have to choose what you have to wear, you have to choose what you are doing all day, you have to choose what you are thinking, you have to choose what you are giving to others. You have to choose each and everything that will elevate you to the higher realms of your own life, and that will take you step by step higher and higher to be a better version of yourself, not in the physical world but in a energetic world, or the spiritual world, because everything around us is spirituality. Nothing is there physicality. No, everything is there. Small things are there. All are connected to spirituality. The bindis we wear, the ghungroos we wear in our feet, the sari, the rings, the bangles, everything is related to the important energy centers in your body. You have to know them, and you have to honor them, and you have to respect them. Then only they are going to give you all the energies needed for you to be your own self, the highest version of your own self. Just like every day we put the when we start the Navratri, that is the first Ma, we say first Ma itself. I don't know the English word for that, but you may be understanding. So the first day, then the second day, the energies are day by day elevating, second by second, minute by minute, this elevate. And the last day, which is the Dashera, that is the day where we completely burn all the Shadripus. So it is more important to focus on the real thing, not just only Navratra, today this, today that. Okay, that is fine, my friends. You are enjoying the Navratri festival, you are enjoying what is the food and all the things. But first you have to look into these things. What is it that you have come here for on this planet? Why have you taken this birth? You have to know this. You have to start on this path of self-realization. You can buy new saris, you can buy new ornaments, garments, you can buy everything that is there all over the world, but you cannot buy self-enlightenment. You have to go through that journey. You yourself have to walk that journey, and that is the very hardest and the most easiest journey that you can walk through if you decide. So my dear friends, let this Navratri be a very special, let this Navratri be a start for your journey on this path of self-realization, self-knowledge. We will do a 15 minutes meditation, my dear friends. So please close your eyes. You can cross your fingers in such a way. You can sit relaxed. Relax your body, close your eyes, and watch your natural incoming and outgoing breath. No thoughts whatsoever in the mind. Just watch your incoming and outgoing breath, my dear friends. The breath makes you aware of the present moment. So please be aware of the present moment, my dear friends. We'll meditate with a soft music. Please do not open your eyes. Only 10 minutes, my dear friends. Please be with your breath. The opening of third eye is just seeing your own self. In the most beautiful way, in the true way as you are, and seeing this beautiful world as it is. third eye represents the power within you. It is not something that is outside, it is something that is inside. My dear friends, do not open your eyes. Please be with your natural, simple, soft, easy breath. Know your own self, dear goddesses. Know your divinity within. You are already that. Last 2 minutes, my dear friends. Please do not open your eyes. We are meditating today with the beautiful energies of Ma Chandraghanta, absorbing all her qualities on the energy level. As she sits on the tiger, which represents the Shadritus, she has conquered them all. Last 1 minute, my dear friends. Last 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Please slowly untangle your fingers and place them on your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly open your eyes. There is no hurry. If anybody wants to continue meditation, they can. So my dear friends, I really do feel you realize your own divinity. You realize that you are own the goddess within. You awaken the goddess within yourself, my dear friends. Thank you so much, Jnanamitra, for inviting me here today on this platform to share my views about the goddesses on the third day of Navratri. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you so much. Namaste. हाँ बिंदिया.